Good morning, friends. Happy day to you. Welcome to the Angel and Tina morning show. We're so excited to have you joining us. Tina, how are you doing today?
Oh my God, it definitely is a Monday. So,
I get on the camera, we get on the Zoom this morning, and hey, good morning. And you all know Tina is the bubbliest of all the bubbles. Like Tina is the bubbliest, the perkiest. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, fine. I'm like, okay, what's wrong? I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, nothing. I'm like, liar. Right? Like there's no hiding it when Tina is not in a good mood. She is just like she is like la, la, la. Only
okay,
dogs can hear her most of the time,
yeah, I go from
right?
250% to like 50.
She's like, fine, fine. I'm fine. Nothing's wrong. I'm like, okay, like that you are lying through your gorgeous
Well,
teeth.
I woke up this morning, and for those of you women out there who are watching, um, you know, Angel and I are on Zoom all day long, but we have a little filter on our Zoom.
A little. We have like the
Yeah,
whole thing. I asked Tina one time, I'm like, how do you look so pretty on camera all the time? Like, is it makeup? Is it there a diffuser on your lighting? Like what? And she's like, no, you go to Zoom and it says
features
enhance my features. And
apparently.
she's like, it's got this little sliding bar. She's like,
Pull it off.
move it all the way to the side. I'm like, all the way? Because I was like gonna she's like, no, move it all the way. I'm like, oh, look at I've got like porcelain skin. Like all my crow's feet are gone. But then you go and you look in a real mirror, or you ever do like a FaceTime or a something where it's not Zoom, like
You're
you do
like,
what's
oh,
that live stream one? What's that? Jackstream
StreamYard.
StreamYard.
Oh my
StreamYard.
God, I look
I'm
horrible on
like,
StreamYard.
oh, yeah, I don't like their camera at all. So we
Uh-uh.
are living in an absolute world of denial,
Yeah. But I
denial,
really feel
denial,
like I
denial.
woke up and I have these like laugh lines right here. And I was like, oh my God, I think I just aged like 10 years.
So that's what
I'm
made
like,
Tina
I'm sitting there like
so
this.
upset this morning
I
is she
was like
discovered
literally crying. And I was
she
like,
was crying because she discovered a wrinkle,
right? Like,
right?
so I have this like thing in my eye too. It's all swollen. I've been editing my book all weekend long. So I've
Poor
been on the
Tina.
computer and on the computer. And like, so I woke up, my eyes all swollen. My roommate was like, what is wrong? And I was like, look at my eye.
Poor Tina.
And
Poor
then I
Tina
go
has to
there and I
join the
go, oh
ranks.
my God, what? What? Why?
Well, we want to say welcome to our guests on the Angel and Tina morning show. And Joric, I know you are relating to this in such a beautiful way because you have a beautiful bride. And so you probably have to answer to have some of these conversations a little bit. Joric, how are you? Welcome.
I'm doing great. How's everybody doing there?
Very good. Now you're making sure that we are global this morning. Tell everybody where you're joining us from.
From Lisbon, Portugal.
Ooh. Is
Ooh,
this our first Portugal?
it is our first Portugal. And it just makes you want to feel like you want to go there, right? Like, ooh.
Lisbon. Yeah, I don't know hardly anything at all. We're gonna have to learn a little bit
We
about Lisbon and how you ended up there because how long have you lived there?
Just a little over a year. We moved last October.
Oh, wow. That's a time to lots of change with lots of change. Oh, Michelle, somebody bothering you. Somebody's trying to distract you from the show.
Well, I didn't even see her. Michelle, where
Uh,
are you coming from this morning?
I'm coming from Panama, so you are truly global
Oh,
today.
we are. We got all these people on these like exotic vacations, and we're sitting here in Florida and North Carolina.
hey,
It's not a vacation, working vacation.
Oh, we're on vacation. Okay.
Florida is my new tropical exciting. Jay and I were driving around this weekend looking at palm trees and the weather. I was in a sundress. It was like it's
Well, you have
December.
she has like a little tiny red Corvette, I mean, little tiny red convertible, and oh my gosh. But let's hurry up and we got to say hi to Jenny because I mean, look at her bright red lips. I just love it. Oh, and look, he just came on with I had some bright
Good
red.
morning.
Good morning.
Now you got me singing Little Red Corvette.
Right? Where are you coming from, Jenny?
I'm in Peoria, Arizona.
Okay.
It's exciting here too.
It is. I bet.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of exciting, we got some well, not we. I say we because I'm part of their family now.
Has just infused herself into my family.
Infused myself. We got some pretty good news on Friday night, late night. Angel, you want to tell everybody your news?
We got the contract on the house.
Oh yeah.
I'm so giddy. I was like making noises all weekend, like after 3 weeks of waiting. Actually it's been months, right? This dream house that I laid my eyes on back in September, with all these different trials and tribulations and challenges and a whole lot of patience. We finally on Friday at 5 p.m. on Friday, allowing the previous contract to kind of fall through, to wait its way out. They were able to accept our offer on the house. So we are moving into Dream House, which we are calling God's Miracle, in a few weeks. Lots of paperwork, still lots of moving parts, but yeah, we were able to put an offer in, and the offer was accepted. They were able to finally sign it and accept it on Friday.
I'm happy for you. I talked to her on Friday night, and she told me, and I like literally burst into tears because it's like when you sit there and watch God's miracle, like from like the very, very beginning. Now, for those of you guys who've been watching this for a couple of months, you've been like seeing these things like happen. And it's like not happening like in a year's time or 3 years time, like I've been praying for 3 years and God finally gave it to me. Like she prays and the next day God goes, here you go. And I'm going, what? And I'm like, can you put a little bit of prayer up there for me and let them know who I am? Because it seems like you got a direct connection, baby.
Every step. It's just like
tears, and they were popping champagne, and
we did have a bottle of champagne, but it's just been step after step after step, and it's truly been a miracle. I said, if we got this house, because there's no way on earth, right? We didn't qualify the house, like all these challenges. There's just no way that we're going to be able to move into this home and get this house. And if we do, it will be because of God's miracle. It would be a true miracle. And it is turning into, but that's not the only fabulous news that we are celebrating this morning. We have a brand new best-selling author in our midst. Joric, what did you do to celebrate? Because your book was published this weekend and you became a best-selling author. What did you do to celebrate?
There was a little bit of wine involved. Or there was a lot of wine involved, but that was it. It still hasn't sunk in. It's pretty amazing, just the whole journey. So I was jacked to get that news and hope that things continue through the holidays and people think about buying and picking up a copy and reading it. And, in the world that we live in, we need some levity and some lightheartedness. And I think that I hope the book delivers some of that.
I am so excited for you. Well, Joric is published under the Lemonade Legend publishing brand with Michelle Faust. Michelle, I mean, you probably feel just as excited when your authors hit bestseller as they do. I imagine it's a big celebration for you too, right?
Oh, absolutely. And between me being in Panama, Joric in Portugal, I had no idea what the time difference is, but we're still, we're WhatsApping it back and forth. And I'm like, you hit bestseller status, and I'm excited. And he goes, well, should I celebrate? Should I crack open the wine? And I'm like, yeah. It is your time to celebrate.
Joric, what time is it for you right now?
It is a little after 4 p.m. Here.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we're 11 a.m. Eastern is 4 p.m. Portugal time.
Angel, pull your hand up. What is this on your hand? What? Did you get a new ring?
Yeah, so you guys all know I haven't been wearing my wedding ring because I had fat sausage fingers. So Jay and I got matching silicone wedding bands this weekend.
That
it's
is
just
like the new trend right now. Like
right.
every
Joric, put your hand up. Joric has one too.
so many people with these silicone bands, and I mean, it's so relevant too because of you go to the gym, you work as people are working on cars, and you don't want to lose your wedding band or mess up your big old huge diamond.
Yeah.
But I like it. And Jay got one too.
And Jay has a matching one. Yeah. So very romantic. We have new silicone matching wedding bands.
Did he get on one knee and ask you to marry him again?
No, he just kind of cut the little plastic thing off and handed it to me.
You're so romantic, Jay.
Oh, very, very romantic. Well, okay. So there's a lot happening here. We have a brand new published author, best-selling author. We have the publisher, Michelle Faust, in the house, and we have Jenny. Jenny, you have a book coming out, right?
Yes, I do.
When?
Right, it's coming out in March of next year.
In March of next year,
Mhm.
and you're publishing under the Lemonade Legend.
Correct.
publishing
They've been
brand too.
amazing.
Fabulous.
Jenny,
Okay,
I
so
love your shirt.
Thank you.
Well,
Michelle, I would
have to interject. First of all, Jenny, your office is looking incredible.
Coming
So
along, right?
it is coming on. This is Jenny's dream office. So you have your dream house. This is the dream office because she really needed a place where she felt good about. I mean, she's writing some really tough stories and personal stories, and so she needed to create her space. So she's got a disco ball on the ceiling fan. She's got a unicorn there.
Oh, Angel loves her disco ball. Let's see your disco ball. Oh, I see it.
And it's on a light switch. Like I turn it, right now it's rotating. I can turn it on and off. It's really cool.
Oh, Angel, you need one.
It's a ceiling fan. See, I had someone custom make it.
Oh, Angel, you need to take a picture and get
So he took the light off and put the disco ball on for me.
I have a disco ball. We could totally do that. We could totally do that. Okay, so what I think might be really special and fabulous is, Michelle, to have you introduce Joric and Jenny, right? Tell how you met them, tell a little bit about their story, their projects, and then we'll let them, give more information about it. But to have you just introduce them as authors, as brand new, fabulous, coming and upcoming, brand new published or best-selling author and upcoming author. Does that sound good? I know I'm just kind of throwing you on the spot.
I'd be delighted to. So I met Jenny first through one of my authors of the Lemonade Stand Book One. She was encouraged to join one of my workshops, my writing workshops. And we didn't get 2 sessions in, and Jenny and I started a conversation about her story. And it's an incredibly powerful story. So she has experienced multiple suicides in her family, in her life, and she works with individuals who are experiencing that loss and grief. And one of the things that Jenny has done over time in her grief process is to live in a world filled with brightness, happiness, sequins. So as you notice, she is wearing an entire outfit of sequins, and her closet is 98% sequin clothing because she refuses to live in the darkness. She is just one of the most positive people I know, and she's inspiring. And so we decided this was a book that has to be written. So the title of the book is Suicide in Sequins. And it's about Jenny's journey herself, but it's also about how to deal with grief and loss, how to try to come to some sort of understanding about suicide, if anyone can ever really truly understand it. So that's a little bit of Jenny's story. And then Jenny introduced me to Joric And we had a couple of conversations, and he was feeling inspired to share some of his really just crazy, crazy stories that he had been in the middle of most of his work life. So Joric worked primarily in HR, human resources. So you can imagine some of the things he's been in the middle of from a work-related situation. But we just kept talking about these crazy stories, and we're like, yeah, this would make a great book, because again, we're at a time right now where we need some lightheartedness, we need some fun. So this is just these like, how do you get in the middle of all this? So we entitled it Magnet of Madness. He truly is a magnet of all this crazy madness and story from the time he was in college all the way through his career. So it's a collection of stories from his work career that are truly remarkable, and the fact that he had to sometimes step outside of the rules to deal with some of these things, because life doesn't go as expected, and sometimes best practices is not always right practices, as Joric will say, and right practices is always better than best practices. So I've learned a lot in helping him along this path and reading some of the stories and how he's dealt with them, and he's really remarkable in that he's able to keep his cool like no one I know. Like,
All right, Joric. All right. So, Magnet of Madness. Is that true? I mean, like, give us a little background about how you ended up with this, moniker.
So it's something that when we were thinking about the book, my original title was, you won't believe what happened at work today, because oftentimes I would come home and my wife, Shelley, what happened at your job? What happened at your job? And then she'd give me that look like, you're kidding, right? Or did you make that up on the way home? Because there's no way that happened. And it just became repetitive. And then I'd tell her about some of my older stories from prior career, professional life, as well as going back to college and even high school. And then she said, okay, you got something here. And even in college and when I started my professional life, I had a way of being at happy hour and somehow winning the weirdest story contest. Not that I was trying for that, but it was something that when we would go around the table and talk about, here's the weirdness of the week or the month or the quarter, somehow I got in the weirdest situation. Didn't always get out of it or get out of it cleanly. And so because of that, I had all these notes in my Franklin planners and Trapper Keepers and you name it.
Franklin planner, girl. I loved my Franklin planner. So you tiptoed around. Are you going to give us an example or, a little?
And are these your crazy stories, or are these other people's crazy stories that happened to you?
Both. So it's both it's as an employee as well as being in management, being in situations where I'm going, I cannot believe I'm in this moment at this time. What do I do? One situation, I'll give you a story from the book. I was working in the animal business for a group of animal hospitals, and I was sitting in an office with 4 ladies and myself, 3 moms, 1 expectant mom, and me. And they were arguing about where we should have a nursing room. And I was thinking, okay, and they were getting very upset at one another and started calling each other names, and it was getting very feisty. And I was thinking to myself, going, okay, I'm a guy in the room. I'm not a mom. I'm not going to ever go through childbirth. But shouldn't there be a whole lot more empathy going on here? And I was the one feeling bad for everyone when everyone else wanted everyone else's head. And we ended up figuring out that situation. I slept on it and came back the next day. I don't think anybody was happy with it, but we figured it out. And that was just one example of, I went home Actually went out with my wife. We did have some wine and some dinner. I explained the situation, and she was going, you're kidding me, right? Because she's mom and couldn't believe that there'd be people arguing about, well, we can't do it here, and you're not going to do it in my office, and there's no way that you're going to be doing that over here either. That you thought cooler heads would prevail. And I thought, okay, I'm the only dude in the room, and I think I have the coolest head. What's going on here? This isn't right. That's one example. Even
Too unusual for a man to have a cooler head than a bunch of lactating hormonal women, right? Like I totally understand.
it was one of those where I walked out of the meeting, just I wasn't sure. Every once in a while you walk out of a situation where you question the profession you're in, your ability to do your job. And I kept thinking, I didn't make anybody happy in the initial meeting. The next day I went back and proposed something that stuck. But it was very interesting.
Did you volunteer your office, Joric? Is that what ended up being the nursing room?
No, my office was about a half hour away, so that wouldn't have worked. But basically everyone that was upset, they all had to give up their office space, 30% of it, which made it work. So I'll say it was compromised, not because they wanted to, but because it seemed to work and kept everybody somewhat happy. I'll just say melancholy. They weren't really happy about it. But that was one situation in the veterinary world. From professional sports, I'll throw one out where I happened to be at a club. I'm not a clubber, never was, but I went to meet a friend there, and a professional player was there throughout the night. My buddy wants to meet him. I do the introduction. Later on, the player said, "Hey, I've had one too many. I want to go home. Can you take me home?" Okay, I can do that. So I didn't think anything of it. It was close to my house, about 10 minutes away from my apartment at the time. I go the next morning to pick him up, which I'm going, this is cool. I hope he answers the door. Somebody else answers the door. It's a lady in a robe you can pretty much, it wasn't a loose, it was a very loosely tied robe, let's call it that. And it was another player's wife. And so I'm going, thankfully I've got a weird name. So most people that meet me kind of remember the name or the face. She talked to me on the phone, but she had never met me in person. So I didn't disclose my name, but I'm going, hey, I'm here to pick up so-and-so to take him downtown. And then I get in the car and I'm going, okay, I don't know what I just walked into, but I do not want to be here right now. I'd like to be anywhere on the planet than here. He gets in the car, and before we get out of his driveway, he said, I need you to forget about what you saw. And I said, I'm not even here right now.
Hear no evil.
I don't even know what happened. And when I took him back to his car, that was at the nightclub, he offered me $1,000 to keep my mouth shut. And, based upon what I made, I probably should have taken it, but I wasn't going to do that. Exactly, it's hush money. But that was a situation where he promised me that I wouldn't use his name ever. So I haven't used his name. I've retold that story.
But I tell the story all the time. I just don't ever tell the name.
I just don't tell the name. But that's one of those where I have had other friends that also worked in professional sports that also happened to take players home or happened to actually escort them out of the bar before the police showed up. And they didn't have any weird stories that were like that. So I'm going, okay, well, at some point, if I ever get around to a book, that's got to go in the book, because everyone's going to ask me for names, which I'm not going to divulge. But it's one of those stories where, okay, put yourself in my shoes, because if I was of a different mindset, I probably should have taken the money, or I said, hey, I know what you make. You make several million a year, $100 or $1,000. Give me a break. Give me 100,000, and I'll think about it. But I'm just, I guess, not built that way. But those are some of the stories that give you a flavor for, I'll say, some of the weirdness.
So, Joric, who's going to play you in the movie?
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown. Well, so the stories, you save them all. You are a storyteller by design, by nature. And I think, yeah, you do have some really odd and unusual, guess what happened to me? You'll never believe what happened to me today stories. But now it is in a book. And so you met Michelle And what was the catalyst to say, okay, finally I have enough stories, or now is the time that I want to actually become a published author? Why now?
That's easy. Unemployment. Coming over to Portugal and going through the visa process to be able to get a residency and a work permit, there were delays. And then we have fun of COVID. So along with that, about the time I probably should have gotten my immigration in line, there were delays and delays. And it just so happened that I had all this information that I had taken from our move and condensed it into all these mashable stories on my computer. It was time to do something with it, and I don't like not working. So sort of twiddling my thumbs going, I got to do something here. And it was time. I thought maybe when I retired, if I could remember the stories, reaching back to college, back when I'm 60 and 70, I would write it then, but I'm going, okay, forget it. It's time to do it now. There's probably some reason in the universe why everything's been pushed back and delayed. And as my wife's working and she works from home every day, I need to do something other than stare at four walls. So it was time to put it together. So that was really the catalyst. I kind of joke about it, but it was really unemployment and immigration delays thanks to COVID that prompted it. So I'll say it's a weird silver lining of the weird world we're living in, that the book manifested itself from, I'll say, kind of a bad situation or a unique situation that we're all living in.
Well, okay, so the book is available. It is now a bestseller. Came out this weekend. The ebook is available. Do you want to tell people where to go and get the book?
Yeah, it's Amazon. So Magnet of Madness, or if you type in my name, Joric, my guess is you're only going to get one Joric, or you probably won't get many results on Amazon when you type my first name in. It should show up as the first couple of listings. We're still waiting on some of the hard copy imaging to be done, but that's where you can find it. It's available. I hope people can enjoy it. If anything, my goal is that people can make fun of the situation I've been in, as well as they would look at some of the stories and go, okay, I would never do that, or I would never be in that situation, or I would do something very differently. I hope people can come out of it with some thoughts on how to maybe live life differently, maybe not take themselves so seriously at work. And I think I read in a lot of stories where it's the best way of doing things. And I've been inundated in my HR life of best practices, best practices, best practices. And I kind of like the mantra of doing things the right way, which might be the best way, but also might be my way. And I kind of have a unique way of thinking and doing things, which is the reason that the book exists, I guess. So I hope people can get something from it. I think it's pretty relatable, and everyone will find a story that kind of hits home to some degree.
Well, congratulations.
I need to interject too that it was never a situation of trying to fill the book with enough stories. We ended up with 400 pages of stories.
Wow. So you guys have 2 books.
We have 2 books. So it's volume 1 and volume 2. And veterinary was the bulk of the story. So that's volume 2. It stands alone as his time working with veterinary clinic. And youth, insurance, and sports is volume 1. So to just kind of clarify, so if you go on Amazon and see 2 books, that's why, that we just had to break them up.
And may I just add something?
400 pages. Yes, Jenny, please.
So Joric is my brother-in-law. And I have to say, I've met many HR professionals in my career, many, because I work in the cleaning industry. So there's people all day. And I find that most HR people are jaded, where they really don't like people much anymore, and they have very little patience. And what's amazing about Joric is if you read these books, you're going, oh my gosh. I mean, sometimes the stress you would have had to bring home. I live a motto of if you do the right thing, you can't go wrong. Well, Joric puts that motto like you're going, like this is the right thing, but maybe I need to do this. But the cool thing about Joric is he still has a warm heart for people. And it's very interesting to read his book because it's not so much of a typical HR book where people are jaded. You know, it's a really good book. I'm actually I was blown away at some of the stories. Like, I think I have an answer for everything. And yeah, he makes it very questionable. Very good read.
Well, this is fabulous. Now, Michelle, I know you are going to have to hop off. We're going to ready to go and spotlight our sponsors, and then we're going to hear more about Jenny's book coming. Is there anything you want to share, Michelle, before we lose you today?
Well, first of all, just thank you for having myself, but having these fabulous authors on, and they have so much to offer in their messages, and I just really appreciate the fact that you're highlighting them, spotlighting them, and you've both been such a joy to work with, and we will continue to be working together for quite some time. So congratulations to George. And Jenny, I know will be at that point very soon in a few months. And it's pretty exciting to work in this world.
Thank you so much, Michelle. We do have to go to commercial break so we can spotlight our sponsors, but we will be right back right after these messages.
Right after these messages. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you see my whole screen or just the image?
Just the image.
Okay. All right. Well, fabulous. It is fun to spotlight and celebrate new authors here on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, and love having Lemonade Legend as really one of our distribution partners. If you've got a story, it's time to put it in print. But we have our morning show sponsors are the Zondra TV network, where we are globally and digitally syndicated on, I think, 7 digital streaming platforms. And she's adding more all the time. If you've ever thought about starting your own TV show, maybe you have a podcast or a YouTube channel and you want to start your own TV show and get on digital streaming TV, right? That's that next level up. You can find the Angel and Tina Morning Show there, but you can also have your own. Schedule a discovery call by going to beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com. Bliss by the Lake Boutique, our clothing sponsor, some really fun winter wardrobes, holiday outfits they're putting together right now. Follow them on social media, and they do ship anywhere across the country. And Sonic VA is also one of our fabulous sponsors. If you're just too busy to get it all done, don't hire a virtual assistant. And when you mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show, you're going to get 10% off your first 40 hours of virtual assistant service. So we're so excited to have Sonic VA as our morning show sponsor. Go to sonicva.com, sonicva.com. Sonic VA, Bliss by the Lake Boutique, and Zondra TV Network. Thanks so much for sponsoring us, helping us to become.
Bliss by the Lake will be here on Wednesday with a full winter fashion show for us. So I'm so excited. And I'm going to be in my little cute pink outfit tomorrow. So that's for our Connect Summit, because Connect Summit is tomorrow.
The Connect Summit is tomorrow. This is an incredible week. There is so much going on. I am feeling, I don't know about you, but like overwhelmed. We've got the Connect Summit tomorrow. We have the Power Team Global Elevation Summit on Thursday. We have the James Dentley event is a 3-day event that starts on Friday. And I just bought a house. And so there's a whole lot. We've got our inspection is on Wednesday. Our appraisal is this week. We're doing a whole lot of stuff to get that. But I'm super excited to be here at this moment talking with these beautiful and precious authors. So Jenny, your story, like when Michelle told me suicide and sequence, like all in the same sentence, like these two words do not normally go together, right? One of these things is not like the other. And so, but I love where you're like the meaning behind it and where you're going with it all. So give us a little bit of background on how
we felt like the title kind of told the story in itself. And the book cover is, I'm just blown away by what the artist did for the book cover. But where do I start? Let's see. 20 years ago, I lost a niece who drowned in a pool. And this sounds so tragic, but it kind of leads up to my story. And then I lost my sister to suicide 8 years after that. It was her only daughter at the time, but she had another daughter about 2 years later. And then I lost my father 4 years after my sister. literally to the date. They died on January 1st and January 3rd. So it was rough to cope with that. Let me just say that. And there were some really dark days, and you wonder, how do people get through this? And I really did. And I found that I volunteer for a group that helps people cope with suicide grief. So it's kind of like AA, but it's for suicide grief. And I'm a co-facilitator in one of the groups in the Valley. And I found that when I shared my story there or with anybody else, they were just like, how do you wear sequins every day? You would not believe my closet. And Joric he can say a lot about the stuff I'll wear. I'll leave my house with some stuff where people would be like, how old are you, 5? Like, I feel like there's never, we save these nice things in our closet. Oh, that's for nice day, events. Well, every day is a great day. And for that matter, you never know when it's your last day. So you might as well just wear those great things right now. That's exactly what I do.
That is my motto all the time, Jenny.
Yes. I mean, just wear it. That's what I'm saying. My sister, when she passed away, I started wearing sequins once or twice a week to kind of get through the day. And by the time my dad died, I was wearing it 3-4 times a week, maybe. And then, I don't know, it just kind of quickly turned into every day. And so this January will be 9 and 13 years that they passed away. And then I just felt like that glimmer of hope I would see in people's eyes when I would tell my story, or where they were just kind of blown away. I don't understand. How can you possibly have that story behind you? I thought, you know what, I need to write a book. I need to help people so that they can understand that. And this isn't just about grief, right? I mean, people go through divorce, they go through bankruptcies, things that are just life altering. And unfortunately, we lose some people to those stressors. And I just want people to see that you can still live a very joyous life with these kinds of stresses behind you, and be a catalyst for hope for other people at that. Now, I'm not saying it's an easy journey, but it's a doable journey. It just takes, you got to put the work in. And I got a unicorn over here. I got God over here. It's disco ball up here. It's just a matter of putting great things in your life. And I do other things like yoga, working out, meditation. Really, self-care is so important.
Jenny,
Mm-hmm.
and you have taken a very intentional leap in everything that you do, from the clothes you wear to what you surround yourself with, to what the things that you are looking at, to find joy in this moment, because there is still joy to be found in the day. And so the inspiration and hope that you bring to people, because I think that it becomes so dark and so bleak that everything is darker and more bleak, and you just layer that on. If you had this little glimmer of something sparkly and shiny that reminds you that, okay, this isn't the end of everything.
And one of the first things I talk to people about is living a life of gratitude. I know we were briefly talking about that when I first got on, and daily gratitude can change. It will change your life. It's not even about can. It will. And if you can just practice daily gratitude, you can change the connections in your brain to think differently about everything. It's funny, in my house, my youngest son, he's 22. He'll come home and tell me some, story about his day that didn't go well. And I'll be, yeah, but at least this. And it kind of got to the point where he was like, if I tell you a bad story, can you ever just like wallow with me? Why does it always got to be, well, at least someone didn't die? I'm like, well, I don't know. And when he said that to me one day, I thought, wow, I've really rewired my brain to really not see the darkest part of every story. It's really fascinating. And if you live daily gratitude, you can change your life.
You really can.
You just got to do the work.
You really can. And that is why I wrote the gratitude journal, is because I went through a similar situation like that. There's 10 stressors in the world, that can knock somebody off their feet, and she was speaking about, Jenny was speaking about some of those, and 5 of those stressors I had to deal with in a 6-month period of time. And it literally knocked me out. But I found that, implementing gratitude into my life, it did literally change my life. And you have to grab a hold of something, like you grabbed a hold of that gratitude, you grabbed a hold of that little bit of sparkle, to get you through. So whatever it is, you just have to grab a hold of that and take it, because you can get through it.
Well,
And it's always there.
I want to see a picture of your closet, because I think how fun would that be to see a whole closet full of sequins. And now when you see sequins, you'll think of Jenny, right? You'll see sequins and think of joy in your life. It now represents not just, a party outfit, but something even bigger and something far more impactful. So your book is coming out in the spring, and you're working with Lemonade Legend. How did you meet Michelle? Like, how did that come together?
So on Facebook, I was tagged in a post because she does these books with chapters on people who had some adversity in their life and have overcome it. And someone had tagged me, and I thought, I really want to finish writing this book. Like, I had maybe, let's call it, I had started, but then I met Michelle. I'm like, wow, I have a lot to do. So I was talking to Michelle in a few of the workshops, and in one of the workshops, she said, I don't think I can get your whole story in a chapter. Like, I really don't think I could even do it justice. So I had mentioned to her that I really wanted to write a book. I was aspiring to finish that. And it's a lot of steps. I didn't really know how to go about it. And she said, well, I do that for people. And it was just like God had stepped in at just the right time, put me in connect with her, and given me just what I needed at such a time as this, So I'm just forever grateful for that connection.
So
and then ironically, Joric happened to post something, and then he was connected.
I love the power of the connection, right? I mean, we talk about that all the time, and why is our summit is called Connect Summit. The power of connection. All you have to do is tag somebody, and it can change somebody's life, like it did here.
And I also tell people, I have something here in the background. I mean, you really should try to live a yes life as much as you can. So we usually want to say no because it's different and I don't know what's going to happen. But I mean, if you would have contacted me 10 years ago to come on this show, I would have said, no way, no way. But now I just live a life of yes. And it's amazing the stuff I come across and am put in contact with, and things that change your life. So, the connection, a lot of that has to do with just saying yes to things maybe you're uncomfortable with and wouldn't normally do.
I love that.
So now you have 2 authors in the family, and are there others in the family that are authors, or now maybe thinking about becoming authors? Are you inspiring others to join the ranks?
Let's see. I can say that at some point, wife, she's had a couple of children's book ideas for a long time, long before I had met her, that have been collecting dust. And with the move and with this process and with Jenny writing and with me writing, I think it's something where it's been renewed interest, where she's talked about potentially going, okay, maybe it's time for me to get some of these stories and these, a couple of these children's stories that I had thought about, get them written and get them done, and I guess it's more get them illustrated. I think she's had a lot of the writing done. So we'll see. There might be some children's stories in the not too distant future.
Love that. I love that.
And my niece she's going to the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. So, and actually in my book, I have 4 bonus chapters at the end, because I feel like in suicide, when you read a book, you're only hearing one person's version, but everybody grieves differently and is impacted differently. So I've chosen 4 people, of which one of them is Joric's wife, 4 people that have different dynamic relationships with my sister and my dad and my niece. And all of them were there during that time. And they're writing their own chapter at the end of the book, so readers can see, oh, wow, I mean, it impacted her this way. And then you have these dynamics of these people out here. So I wanted to do something different in the book. And so I have 4 people that aren't authors right now, but they're kind of be these co-authors, so to speak. So that'll be kind of neat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bringing others, inspiring them, giving them that opportunity to share their story. I think that's really special as well. Well, congratulations. Congratulations to you both. So Joric's book is out. You can grab the ebook today. When you go onto Amazon. Tell me the title again, Joric.
Magnet of Madness, and there's a volume 1 and a volume 2.
Are they both out right now?
They are both. The ebook is out, still waiting for the green light on the hard copy.
Because it had 400 stories or over 400 pages, to get out. So congratulations, volume 1 and volume 2. Congratulations to you. Being a best-selling author, it's a huge milestone, a huge achievement. We're super proud of you. Super excited to celebrate this with you. And Jenny, your story, your journey, I know we will have you back in March once your book is out for all the world to pick up. Joric, if you wanted to inspire folks today, I mean, this has been definitely a year of change. You moved out of the country, and then, we're dealing with a lot of the pandemic issues while out of the country. What would you, what do you want to leave people with? What do you want them to glean from you today?
I would say that over the last 12, 13 months, my wife and I have been working on plan F, G, Z. Where I'm going with that, nothing has gone according to plan, where most of the time we've been together, it's been plan A or B. So we've been thrown a lot of curveballs in things that have gone on that we like more orderly things, and they haven't gone that way. But I would say just be open-minded and roll with it. And if you have the ability to just go, okay, not get too upset about delays or issues, and just try to find the silver lining or opportunity there, which I'll say is more of her forte than mine. I'm learning from her. It's so helpful because it makes sometimes interesting times like now more palpable and more easy to live.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you for that. How about you, Jenny?
I would just say, especially in these times, I mean, just getting back to living a life of gratitude. It doesn't matter where you're at in your life, what's going on in the world. Practice daily gratitude. It's super simple. You wake up in the morning, you write down. If you write it down in your handwriting, it's very impactful because your own handwriting speaks volumes to your brain. So write it down in a journal. 3 things, 2 or 3 things, simple things. Oh my gosh, thank God I had a good hair day yesterday. Could just be something as simple as that. It could be, there was rain yesterday, or thank God I got a message yesterday, or I was connected to somebody. It could be anything, big or small, 2 or 3 things every morning. And if you want to even challenge yourself further, do it at night as well. So you're basically training your brain upon waking up and going to bed of thinking about positive things versus the stressors in your life. Because it's easy to think about the stressors because they're always there, right? But to teach yourself to think about what's good in life is very impactful. So that is what I would leave with everybody, especially during these times where all of us are stressed to some extent.
I think Tina's head was going to fly off. She's like nodding, like emphatically.
Because it is every morning and every night. And that's why my journal is that way. There's a space for your morning gratitude, and then there's a space for your evening. Starts with a scripture, ends with a quote for the day. 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at nighttime. I teach that, and I teach that, and I teach that, and it's such an easy thing to do. And it's
scripture as well. I mean, if you're in that point in your life, scripture is so powerful. I do that as well, but I try to get people started on as little as time as possible, right? Because we tend to think, oh my gosh, I don't have an hour every morning and every night. I'm telling you, this takes 1 to 2 minutes. If your journal is right there by your bed or right there where you get up or go to bed, you just open it up to wherever your page mark is and you're writing down those. It's super quick and simple. It does not take a lot of time.
You are speaking our language, Jenny. You are
Mhm.
absolutely speaking our language, and no coincidence to have you here on the show this morning. Just I think about we've had this journey for the last several months in buying this house, but it's made me very hyper aware of just noticing these things that I to be grateful for, and paying attention to introductions that are happening and activities that we think are just seemingly random, right? Completely coincidence. And
We found that last week when we all kind of revamped the whole Courtney Epps meeting, and all the different things that led down to that. And you're like, wow, all because of
Little miracles, I like to call them. If you're just aware, you'll see the little miracles
little
every
God
single day.
yeah, if you're aware, right? When you're paying attention and you are expressing gratitude, you do notice there are more things to be
Right.
grateful for.
And you're like,
And
wow, now that I think about it, it's kind of crazy that that happened.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
When I started my own business, I literally said all the time, you know what, God, just keep the money coming in no matter what happens. Like, I don't want to go on unemployment. I don't want to lose my home. Just keep the money coming in. And it would be so crazy. Like, a bill was due and that day the money would come in.
Yeah.
Like, those are little miracles, right? Where he's answering your prayer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, blessings to both of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our morning show. I love on Mondays, like when we get to celebrate new authors on a Monday, because I think anybody who's watching the show and is listening, they're thinking, you know what, I could do that too. If
Yeah.
they could do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And we truly want to be that bright start to your day. Well, this week alone, we have stacked up so many amazing opportunities for everybody to participate in this month alone. So starting tomorrow is the Connect Summit, the 10th Connect Summit of 2020, our last Connect Summit of 2020. It is happening tomorrow from 1 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll make sure the link is put here in the post, but you can also go to Eventbrite. You can go to the Connect Summit Facebook group and join the Connect Summit community, and lots of ways for us to stay connected. And now more than ever, and I think Jenny, you said this, now more than ever, we need to come together and inspire and hope and just link arms together. We are not alone. We might feel distanced, but we are not alone. So join us tomorrow on the Connect Summit. We're so excited to bring to you some just really incredible people who want to pour into you, and so that we can do this together. There's no charge to play with us, and you can hop in and out as you need. We've got prizes we're giving away all day long. It's going to be a really fun and exciting and inspiring day. I've got the Global Elevation Summit is happening this week. The James Dentley Limitless Women Conference is this weekend, but December 30th is our 200th episode of the Angel and Tina Morning Show.
I still can't believe that.
Congrats.
Just like in complete awe that we have had 200 episodes.
It is amazing. So December 30th, we're going to have a really fun episode. We're bringing back many of our guests. Jenny, Joric, you are invited to join us. You can also nominate if you've had a favorite guest, or somebody had inspired you or created a moment, like, we want to give the Sequins Award to Jenny. I think that's a super given, right? The Magnet Award to Joric. We want every one of our guests to be awarded with a fun award. We call it the ANT Awards. We recognize you. We celebrate you. That day is also Tina's birthday. And, she is getting old. Her face is wrinkling up. And
it's like falling apart.
she is getting old. And so we'll celebrate her oldness on the 30th.
So gifts are welcome, like any wrinkle fillers or neck things, please send them my way.
We're also going to be publishing her second book. It will be released on December 30th as well. Today, when you go and buy Magnet of Madness, you might want to also pick up a copy of the Gratitude Journal by Tina Torres. I think that would be a beautiful a beautiful combination. I'm Angel Tussey. I am your media matchmaker. We are doing 100 days of entrepreneurs of reinvention and sharing those stories of reinvention, of pivoting, of shifting, of starting something new. And you can be a part of that when you go to my Facebook group, and it's called Media Mastery, where every day we share a brand new story, 100 days of inspiration and encouragement for you. And if you've got a story, you can apply for us to feature you as well on Entrepreneurs of Reinvention. So there is so much right now. And I'll tell you what, we are going to finish 2020 even stronger.
And the people that we have
Stronger.
on our show for the rest of December is amazing. On Wednesday, we have Bliss by the Lake Boutique. They're going to do a fashion show. Thursday, Ray Higdon is in the house, right? Oh my God, I'm just like, just more and more and more and more and more people. And I think we have like 10 books that we're launching this month.
It is a big month. It is a big month. So get organized, get your sleep. Oh, excuse me, get your sleep, stay hydrated. Make sure you take that personal time, because it is going to be a crazy, incredible month. But we are finishing strong, even stronger. 2020 did not get us. It did not beat us. Yeah, and so it's just blessings to you, Joric and Jenny. Thank you so much for being a part of our show this morning.
Yes.
Congratulations on your 200th show. That's exciting. And congratulations on the book, Joric. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much.
I can't believe we have 200 episodes. Like, it's still a complete, like, we have 200 episodes.
That's amazing. And in the year 2020, I mean, what an accomplishment.
Right. I am Tina Torres, your client retention expert, otherwise known as the gratitude specialist. And if you're struggling with attracting the right clients, knowing how to connect to them, or even if you just don't know how to convert them into clients, I have a complimentary guide that'll help you grow your audience organically, online and offline, and connect and nurture those relationships authentically. And then you can take those relationships and turn them into paying clients. You can grab that guide if you text the word connection to 26786. That is the word connection to 26786. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. We are so grateful to you, our audience, for being our loyal fans. We hope we brought a bright start to your day. We will see you guys tomorrow. And don't forget to register for the Connect Summit. Bye, guys.